You too.
Right, let's have a look then at the tables, and this is what that win means for Liverpool. Puts them up into fifth and just outside the top four on goal difference. But as I mentioned, Manchester United, of course, in Super Sunday action tomorrow from 2 at home to Crystal Palace. Manchester City minus Erling Haaland, who's picked up a slight knock in training, so he hasn't travelled for their game away at Leeds United in the Saturday night football that gets underway in just under 15 minutes' time. A chance for City to draw within 2 points of Arsenal, who go tomorrow in the final part of Super Sunday at home to Chelsea. Aston Villa remaining in third, but after that defeat away at Wolves last night in the Friday night football, a chance for the team around them to begin to close the gap. But Chelsea dropping down into sixth ahead of that date with Arsenal tomorrow. Brentford remain in seventh after that incredible game.
Arnaud, is it fair to say there's a lot to take from that?
But the main thing to take is that we scored 3 goals from set pieces, and maybe you can even argue a fourth, because the one from Cody was a bit later on when we had a set piece. So that can make a big difference in the game, because I don't think 3-0 at halftime was to the run of play. Was a fair reflection of the run of play. But yeah, so many times I've been on the opposite side that we deserved so much more, but didn't get it because of a set piece conceded. And today I don't think we deserve to be 3-0 up at halftime if you look at open play. But that we were up was maybe okay. But 3 was nice.
Nice in the sense that in your press conference in the build-up to this, you were asked a question about slow starts. It couldn't have gone any quicker for you this afternoon.
No, that's true. But in all the other games we've played, we had a lot of set pieces as well, but we struggled for a long time to score from it. But we did have our chances, so we always knew things will go back to normality to again. And this is what is happening now. Now we still generate a chance, but now they go in, and then all of a sudden things look much nicer. But from open play, I don't think it was our best game of the season. It was a good game, but not our best. But yeah, set pieces can make a massive difference.
Is the story, and as it stands there, right on Manchester United's tail. So these are the second half goals. This is Gakpo, Michael, making it 4-1.
Yeah, we all know how much he loves cutting in on his right-hand side. West Ham should know that. Wan-Bissaka should be sending him down on his left foot. Takes a little deflection into the far corner. He'll be delighted to score that goal. But really, I think West Ham should have prevented this one.
He's normally so well in his position, Wan-Bissaka. Just don't let him into the box. Once he gets into the box, he's in full control. Then it's too easy. Gets obviously a little bit of luck, with all the bodies in the way, but you can't let him come into the box like that.
Yeah. Tati Castellanos made it 4-2 for West Ham, but then this really was the sort of nail in the coffin for Nuno Espirito Santo. Axel Disasi with this own goal, 8 minutes from time, Michael.
Yeah, lovely little ball from Gakpo. And Frimpong, nice to see him back. Disasi doesn't do much wrong. That's just a little bit of bad luck. That can happen. Obviously, Liverpool pressing forward, getting balls in the box, things like that can happen. But West Ham made a little comeback, and you thought, can they squeeze something out the game? But then Liverpool closed it out quite nicely.
So yeah, it is the 3 points that Arne Slot needed. And when you look at that Premier League table there, guys, Liverpool right on the heels of Manchester United. They play Crystal Palace tomorrow, and look, if they'd scored just one more, they would. Well, a couple more actually. They would have gone fourth, but they're right behind them on goal difference, and they are right in the hunt now.
Yes, they've been picked up a couple of good results lately. Of course, with the likes of Aston Villa now, they're sort of dropping a little bit in terms of points as well. So Liverpool, that will buoy Liverpool, because at one point you were thinking, wow, are they going to make the top 5? But I think they'll be a little bit more confident tonight.
And down the bottom of the Premier League table, what about West Ham? Look, no one's expecting them to go to Anfield and get something necessarily, Jermaine, but you look at it now, 2 points from safety, as it was before the 3 o'clock kickoffs. And with Nottingham Forest there, Tottenham, I mean, Leeds, can they still drag them in if they're not to win against Manchester City later
Maybe.
on?
I think they've got to obviously forget about the game today. It was always going to be difficult. Focus on the next game. The performances have been so much better. There's been so much improvements, and that's all you could do. I think at this stage now, just keep working hard, keep performing, and then hopefully they'll try and get out of it.
Well, it's 3 wins in a row. It is the first time this season they've hit a side for 5, but not, he says, their best performance of the season. Well, be a Fair assessment for you, Dawes?
100% completely agree with Arne Slot there. We ask from set pieces, only scored 4 before today, and get 3 within 45 minutes. One of them was a second phase, but still they all count. There's different ways to win football matches, and as comfortable as it looks at 5-2, the game doesn't look like that when you're watching it. Or it certainly didn't. Even at 3-0, I've called it game over, and they come straight out after second half, West Ham, and show a response. So, but credit to Arne Slot, up to 5th, 3 wins on the bounce, and plenty of positives, but realise it wasn't perfect.
And in terms of that top 4 battle, at the moment outside on goal difference, but of course Manchester United still have to play tomorrow at home to Crystal Palace, and we know how good they've been under Michael Carrick. How big a scrap are Liverpool in to get Champions League football next season? Well,
they are, because it's not in their hands. With teams playing in and around, and they've got to find this consistency. And when maybe things aren't quite going right, you have to ride your luck a little bit at times. But they've got some big games coming up, starting with Wolves on Tuesday, and then Wolves in the FA Cup, Galatasaray, and then we go in the Premier League. The next 4 after that is Spurs, Brighton, Fulham, Everton. So some big games for him. We were just saying there with Merce how you talk about very likeable manager. He's had challenges this season with players that have come in, and talk about hitting the ground running in the Premier League, how challenging it can be. No Wirtz today, we're starting to see glimpses of what we saw in Germany. Ekitike, who I'm a huge fan of. And I think for him, probably the best thing that's happened is probably not saying that his mate and his strike partner or someone who's up against it. He's having a consistent run of games, scoring goals, getting assists, and, a top player. So it's been a challenging season for him, but I like what I'm seeing with Liverpool.
Is it safe to say they're just doing enough?
Yes, that's probably what I would say, Boydie. I look at watching them last week against Forest, and sometimes results cover things up. Last week in the first half against Forest, they were terrible. Yeah. They could have been out of sight, Forest, and then they ended up getting a little bit fortunate.
What is it though, Dawes? Because do you know what? Goals, are they that open?
Yeah. Even today, I mean, Somerville was electric at times. Alisson making some big saves, and probably a little bit of poor finishing from West Ham at times, decision making. So they've got to nullify the opportunities of the opposition, and that was the same at Forest. I look and think, wow, on the counter-attack, transition, exactly the same today. But in any game of football, you have to score when you're on top, and that's what they did today.
Very good afternoon to you. So it feels like as a team now, you're developing some momentum, 4 wins in the last 5. Do you feel as a team, after what was such a difficult start of the season, you're beginning to get back to something like your best as a side?
Yeah, I think it was a good afternoon, and like you said, it's true. I think we step by step we're getting a better team, and obviously we had a difficult moment during the season, but hopefully these last games are the start to something beautiful.
Cody, congratulations on your goal. You were 3-0 up at half-time, and I called it was game over. West Ham came out, put a good fight up, but then you came out convincing. How much did you have to work for that? I know it was 5-2, but you still had to work for it.
Of course, we worked very hard, even in the first half. I think we scored out of 2 set pieces, or maybe 3 even. And obviously the score 5-2, but I think the game was much closer than the end result. The good side, and we had to work very hard.
Hi Cody, Sue Smith,
Hello.
Congratulations. It's coming towards the business end of the season. You're in good form, obviously. What do you think the team can achieve this year?
Yeah, obviously we're coming to the end of the season. We're still in the Champions League, still in the FA Cup, and fighting for top 4 at the moment in the league. So I think there's a lot to play for, and hopefully we can keep the momentum we have and build on it and keep getting better as a team. So to end the season in a beautiful way.
Cody, you just touched on scoring from set pieces there. You got 4 before today, and you get 3 in 45 minutes. How important is it for you all to come together and score in different ways?
Very important. I think in some games, when the game is stuck, or then you know that you can even score from a set piece, which we lacked maybe in other moments during the season. And it's very important to score in different ways, from open play, from set pieces, from everything. And that's good.
Wolves away to come next on Tuesday, Cody, and then you've got them again in the 5th round of the FA Cup. And then it's Galatasaray. What was the team's reaction to that Champions League last 16 draw yesterday?
Yeah, obviously we looked at it and yeah, we're up for a fight. We've been there this season already, which was a difficult game for us. We lost, so yeah, we know what we're up against, and yeah, we have to perform even better.
Cody, really appreciate your time this afternoon. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win and the goal this afternoon. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
I've absolutely no idea, Boydie, where to start with what you've witnessed this afternoon at Turf Moor. At one point, it was Brentford leading by 3-0. The cries of game over. Not a bit of it. Back came Burnley, roaring to 3-3. Then they go in front, and the first of 2 goals ruled out by VAR. The first for Zian Fleming, the second for Ashley Barnes, which would have made it 4-4 right at the end. Let's just clear up those 2 first of all. Were they both correctly ruled out for Burnley?
You need to remind me of what happened, Simon.
Do you want to run you through the whole thing?
Yeah,
Have you not written it down?
The first one was Hannibal, who was excellent the second half. Excellent. He plays a quick free kick in behind and in behind Coyote, I think it is. In fact, it might be Donovan. And Jadon Anthony is, well, it's a fraction, but the rules are the rules. If he's offside, he's offside. He cut it across and Fleming managed to get it in the back of the net. The second one, a lovely ball at the back post, and Joe Worrell goes and wins it, heads it back down, and it just looks as if there's one angle that we saw that looked as if it hit Ashley Barnes in the midriff, and then there's another angle that looked as if it hit him in the arm. So, I mean, Mike, you called it straight away. You thought it was a handball.
I said to Dawson, I said it could be chalked up, but it took a long time, and I think that obviously with the score being 4-3, a lot at stake, and I think we said before just off air that when it did get disallowed, he didn't really go mad, Ashley Barnes. I think he kind of knew it was handball. He thought he could get away, but unfortunately now you can't, and it is the correct decision. It is the correct decision.
Both of them correct for you, Mike?
Yeah.
Look, in a game like this, with this kind of drama, I mean, so often VAR cues are spoiling the fun. You've got to make sure these are absolutely spot on. For you, they were.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, from the naked eye, he looks onside, but I think the far side near, I can see why that's been chalked up for offside. Automated offside, give him offside. Handball at the end. It's black and white in it. If it's his hand, you can't score. Hits his hand, knocks it in the back of the net, goes disallowed. So, correct decision.
They'll talk about, what is it, the 5 centimetres? Do you think that not come into play?
No, that one. No.
Just a quick one, Boydie, on the fight back, because, I mean, listen, no one would have really probably, well, 1 or 2 probably did, shout at the screen when he said game over, but Brentford were 3-0 up. The boos were ringing out, not for the first time this season. How on earth did Burnley fight back to get it level, get themselves in front, and then, of course, the goals ruled out?
So I said to Mills after it went 3, this could be 5 or 6. I mean, it was, they couldn't deal with them. The back line of Burnley were petrified. I mean, petrified of that front line of Brentford, and Damsgaard getting forward as well, who was outstanding also. But the goal just before half-time, it's a ball played to the back post. Jadon Anthony gets a shot away, hits off Coyote, goes in the back of the net. And then all of a sudden, I mean, there was still boos. Made a couple of substitutions at half-time. There is no doubt that it had an impact. Lyle Foster especially, because it went more direct. They asked Brentford to defend. And that's exactly what happened. They then get the second one. Anthony again, it ends up, he gets a shot away. And it hits off Coyote and ends up the back of the net. And all of a sudden, the place just got a lift. I mean, that was what, 2 minutes after half-time as well. And you've kind of felt as if another one was coming. Fleming, I mean, it was an outstanding ball from Hannibal all the way to the back post, just begging to go and be headed into the back of the net. And it was a terrific, aggressive, good striker play from Fleming, going, attacking it, fantastic header into the back of the net. And then you felt as if 3-3, there's only going to be one winner because the momentum was with Burnley. They then go 4-3 ahead, it gets chopped off, and then 93 minutes, really composed finish from Damsgaard in the box. Down the left-hand side, love the ball in. Yes, Burnley will probably look at it, thought they could have defended it better, but take nothing away from Damsgaard. As soon as it comes in, first touch, kills it stone dead, and then just fires it past Dubravka, the goal. He was outstanding. Really controlled that middle of the pitch for large periods. But I mean, if there was one person that shouldn't have been in the losing side today, it was Hannibal. He came off towards the end, but he was outstanding, especially the second half. And you look at it now for Brentford.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 7th, 2 points behind Chelsea. Chelsea got that tough game tomorrow. They're right in the mix for that European
Bournemouth
spot.
away next.
Yeah, they're right in the mix for the European spot.
Well, it's 3 wins in a row. It is the first time this season they've hit a side for 5, but not, he says, their best performance of the season. Well, be a fair assessment for you, Dawes?
100%, completely agree with Arne Slot there. We asked Cody Gakpo about scoring from set pieces. Only scored 4 before today and get 3 within 45 minutes. One of them was a second phase, but still, they all count. There's different ways to win football matches, and as comfortable as it looks at 5-2, the game doesn't look like that when you're watching it. Or it certainly didn't. Even at 3-0, I've called it game over, and they come straight out after the second half, West Ham, and show a response. So, but credit to Arne Slot, up to fifth, 3 wins on the bounce, and plenty of positives, but realise it wasn't perfect.
And in terms of that top 4 battle, at the moment outside on goal difference, but of course Manchester United still have to play tomorrow at home to Crystal Palace, and we know how good they've been under Michael Carrick. How big a scrap are Liverpool in to get Champions League football next season?
Well, they are, because it's not in their hands. With teams playing in and around, and they've got to find this consistency. And when maybe things aren't quite going right, you have to ride your luck a little bit at times. But they've got some big games coming up, starting with Wolves on Tuesday, and then Wolves in the FA Cup, Galatasaray, and then we go in the Premier League. The next 4 after that is Spurs, Brighton, Fulham, Everton. So some big games for him. We were just saying there with Merce how you talk about very likeable manager. He's had challenges this season with players that have come in, and talk about hitting the ground running in the Premier League. How challenging it can be. No Wirtz today. We're starting to see glimpses of what we saw in Germany. Ekitike, who I'm a huge fan of. And I think for him, probably the best thing that's happened is probably not saying that his mate and his strike partner or someone who's up against it. He's having a consistent run of games, scoring goals, getting assists, and, a top player. So it's been a challenging season for him, but I like what I'm seeing with Liverpool.
Is it safe to say they're just doing enough?
Yes, that's probably what I would say, Boydie. I watched them last week against Forest, and sometimes, results cover things up. Last week in the first half against Forest, they were terrible. Yeah. They could have been out of sight, Forest, and then they ended up getting a little bit fortunate.
What is it, though, Dawes? Because
do you know what?
Scoring goals, are they that open?
Yeah, even today. I mean, Somerville was electric at times. Alisson making some big saves, and probably a little bit of poor finishing from West Ham at times, decision making. So they've got to nullify the opportunities of the opposition, and that was the same at Forest. I look and think, wow, on the counter-attack, transition, exactly the same today. But in any game of football, you have to score when you're on top, and that's what they did today.
Merce, listen, download the highlights, have a look at Jordan Pickford's save. It is absolutely extraordinary. You said it was one of the best you've ever seen. It was amazing, wasn't it?
100%. First of all, Tonali's volley is unreal. He runs onto it and hits it as hard as he can, and it's moving. And to save it and put it onto the bar, honestly, is worthy of winning any football match. Sometimes you see a goal in a game, you go, oh, that's worthy of winning any game. That was worthy of winning any game, that save. It was a phenomenal save. And I thought they just deserved it, Everton. I thought they defended very well. Started off great goal. It looked like a set piece worked on with Braithwaite. Really whipped in at the near post, and he gets a glance, scores. But then they score seconds later, deflected shot by Ramsey, and then Beto scores. Bad mistake by Pope. And then they come out second half, and then Murphy scores, and then that's another deflection. And you think, Everton ain't getting the luck. Go up the other end, and I can't express it. Dewsbury Hall goes, a brilliant bit of play, pulls it across the 6-yard box, and Barry and Hall are going for it, and they both fall over, and Barry's literally sliding towards the goal, not even facing the ball, and he hits his backside and goes in. It's unbelievable, and then we have the save. It's phenomenal. I thought they defended very well. I thought Tonali of Newcastle, proper player.
But the problem for Newcastle United, that inconsistency that Eddie Howe talked about in the league, just continues for Everton. You look at their last 6 wins of their last 7 have all been away from home. If they could sort out their home form, they'd be dangerous.
Yeah, they would be. It's different, though. It's different kind of pressure playing at home. Yeah, especially with the new stadium as well.
Yeah.
With them, it's not that much of a home advantage at the moment, so when teams go there. So, yeah, I think if they can sort that out and play like they are, they're a dangerous team, Everton. I think if anybody's got to play them towards the end of the season, you're in for a difficult game.